So I'm going to show you a couple of things that I have done, and then I'm going to recap on some of the things that I did earlier that wasn't working well because my camera died. All right, so this is the garden bed that you saw the last time because everything has been ripped out over here because it was not working with all the rain we've been getting. So I transplanted what I could try and save over on this side. Unfortunately, we're still not having a lot of luck and we're still getting tons of rain. My bell peppers aren't super big. They're not growing that much. Um, so yeah, this is the size they've been for a while now, even though there's fresh soil in here. They have been fertilized. It's just so much water that's bogging them down. At this point, the weather's starting to change and we're getting a little bit really cool weather. So I think they're going to be done in like a month and a half, even though we still have lots of summer left. We still have, I think our first frost won't be until November, but yeah, so we'll see how that goes. Then I have okra right there. I've never had okra. I'm just growing it just to see what it looks like. Another little thing sprouted right there, probably a squash or something. So right here, I have three or four things going on. I have 2 rows of carrots. One I think is like a Denver something, and one's like a rainbow brand where there's a whole bunch of different colors. Then I have radishes and beets in here as well. My little tomato, which has not a whole lot. There's like 5 or 6 little tomatoes on here. But that's just as much as I'm getting because it was one of the ones that were over there, like I said, and it's just so much rain, they haven't had a chance to recuperate from that. So I'm not sure how much more tomatoes we're going to get off of it. It has not been the season at all for produce. Normally I get tons of squash, tons of cucumbers at least. Not the best at tomatoes. Every year my tomatoes just seem to fail. They flop. I don't know what I'm doing wrong, but that's okay. We're going to try again next year. Then on this side, we have this thing growing. Nothing happening on it, but it's definitely growing. I'm not sure if it's a cucumber or something else, but I think it is a cucumber. We have another eggplant with a little baby eggplant on there, but ever since I've transplanted it, it hasn't really gotten much bigger than this. It's like it's stuck in this size. It just doesn't want to get any bigger. Another tomato plant just like the other one. Not much growing there. Then over here, I have Swiss chard and something else I put in here, and I can't remember what I put in here. It was Swiss chard. Oh, I can't think of it all of a sudden, but it is another vegetable type plant. It's in there as well. We have a squash, I think is right there. Some more squash and zucchinis. They're not very long ones, so I'm hoping that they fill out and get big really fast, and maybe we'll get something as like a late season crop. We have a couple of melons in here, a little baby watermelon. I don't think it's going to make it by the time summer comes to a close. We have, I think these are cantaloupes maybe. I think these are cantaloupes. There's 2 cantaloupes and a little tiniest watermelon. The ground is just too much water for them and it's too compacted, I think. And then we have a couple of onions. There's corn right there, which none of the corn did really well. I completely ripped it out too because the ground is just too compact for that, and I never tilled it, so I just put topsoil on top and dug it up as much as I could by hand, like a surface kind of thing, but it didn't work out very well. We have these over here, which I think is a squash of some kind. I'm not too sure which kind. I'm trying to see if there's any evidence of what it is. It doesn't show me anything, but I'm thinking it's a squash or some sort of zucchini. This looks like it might be a cucumber. Cucumbers I know tend to really vine out a lot, so the squash usually stay kind of bush-like. And that's pretty much it going on over here. Then over on this side, I decided to try and see if I can, so my little test, there are orange hat tomatoes in here, and they're supposed to be a container variety, so it's supposed to stay small. I'm going to try and see if I can bring it inside and see if I can have little tiny tomato plants inside. I have not a heat lamp, I have a heat mat and lights, so I think I'll be okay. In this first tray right here, this is what I tried videotaping, which did not work because it was so hot, my camera turned off. This right here is celery. I have 2 rows of that. Then I have sage, parsley, and 2 types of flowers. One is like a purple Rudbeckia, and then salvia. I'm going to try and keep those moist. Probably not a good thing that I put them all in the same type of tray, but I just didn't want to have so many trays out, and I didn't want to make so much of all of them. And this next one is nothing but our favorite, which was the romaine lettuce. Oh, and I think I have lettuce over here too. I think I put lettuce over there too. That was the other one that I did. And this right here, I think it was like a mix, a lettuce mix with dark and light green leaves. And this one, like I said, is romaine lettuce. So romaine in this one, celery and some other things in here, and then the orange hat tomatoes in these two. But that seems to be everything right now that's going on. Most of the produce that I've gotten is already out. But let's see, I think there's a bunch of potatoes in here, to be honest. There's lots of bugs, not bugs like bad bugs. Well, I mean, it's a bad bug, but like nothing that's gonna mess up the harvest. Let's see. Looking every once in a while. And there's one right here. So I'm super excited. It's a little tiny one, but I'm hoping there's some big ones in there. So that's basically it. I did want to show you one more spot, which is the little flowers that I have going on over here. They are doing really well, and I do actually want to do a little bit more. I think the Cosmo is just too much for this small space. But look at how beautiful these flowers are in this section. It's not a whole lot. I mean, I like on a big scale, it's like one millionth of the size. It is not that big at all of a space. But these are the really pretty pink. There's like, I think, double pink and big red. Big red never showed up. So, I mean, this is the only red one I have. So I'm not too sure what happened with the big red, but I'm definitely going to do this again. It might be on a larger scale next time, but I love knowing how to pick them, when to pick them. You see how this one's kind of just, the whole head kind of moves. The ones you don't want, let's see if I can find one. The one you don't want to pick is that one. You see how it bends too much? This one flops a little bit, but the stem is really stiff, so it's kind of like, it's not flipping like this, it's swaying. So that's really a good way to know the difference between this one and this one. You want to pick it when it's like this, when it's firm. It'll have the longest space life for you. Oh, and then if you can see it, let's see if I can get over there. The tiniest Lysianthus is right there. It's only one out of 110. It's so funny. I just think it's so funny. But I have some plans to see if I can up my game with Lysianthus by like 100 at least. We'll see. And then a lot of the sunflowers are already starting to bloom out here, which is great because I have this whole row in the back behind the cosmos. Oopsie, I hit the microphone. Behind the cosmos that are starting, it's being eaten up a little bit. They're starting to bloom, which is so cheery on this side. And there's a whole bunch down here. They didn't get super big. And then we have grapes right here. There's no grapes on it, but this is supposed to be my grapevine, my one lonely grapevine so far. We'll see how it works next year. I'll probably come and get as much grass around it, or we'll see. But that's it, guys. So I hope you guys are having a wonderful day. The sun finally has gone down. And I'm gonna go ahead and play with this little monster. Hey, Papa. Hey, Papa. Bye, guys.